Hello, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and MPD by somebody that has both. Today I would like to recover an old topic, something we haven't talked about for a very long time. BPD blankets. Now, for the uninitiated amongst you, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Rich, BPD blankets? What are you talking about? Is it some merch thing? It sounds like a rubbish thing you've made up. Well, let me tell you, it is a thing I've made up. But stick with me. I think it will make sense to you, especially if you have BPD and you go through this. What I define as a BPD blanket is pain you can wrap yourself up in. Pain that you can wrap yourself up in and be all warm and snuggly, all cozy, all happy in your pain and suffering, and you like it. You want to stay there wrapped up in this lovely warm blanket of pain and suffering because it's familiar, it's nice, comforting. It's a big warm blanket, but it's made of pain and suffering. Oh yeah. See, some things that we feel, they're in the moment. I'm angry at that thing, I'm happy about this thing, all of this. But with BPD, you can just be sat there minding your own business. Maybe you're watching a movie, maybe you're playing a game on your phone, whatever. And then suddenly, this warm blanket gets put over your shoulders. Suddenly, just sadness. It just washes over you like a wave. Comes out of nowhere. And it wraps you up. And you'll start going over in your head all of the things that make you sad. That time something died, that time somebody left me, that time I proved to myself once again I don't deserve love or anything. And you'll play it through and you'll wrap yourself up in this sadness and you'll sit there and we can go from happy to crying in 10 minutes. It's a great, great thing to live with. And shaking yourself out of these blankets is difficult, right? You've got to get out. And you know what it's like when you're all warm and cozy in a blanket and it gets like the air from outside gets to you. Maybe it touches some skin or something like that. And it might as well be somebody putting an ice cube down the back of your neck. That kind of, oh, I don't want to get out of my blanket. Well, what it feels like, even though it's a blanket of sadness. There's lots of emotions we can wrap ourselves up in. Defeat, despair. Anything with wallowing. Blankets are good for wallowing. But they come out of nowhere. We don't necessarily need to have something. They can be inspired by real life events, you know, that kind of thing. Like, I'm sad about that. I've lost that. I failed at that. I'm going to go and wrap myself up in a blanket. Yeah. Sad music, walking away like Charlie Brown. That's us. And so these blankets, they're bad for us, but they feel so good. It's familiar. Something I struggled a little bit with going through therapy was not feeling awful. I mean, it sounds a bit ridiculous, right? Like, how do you struggle with that? I've not really felt it before. It was a new emotion, not awful. It was a new life experience, something I remember from early childhood, perhaps, something like that. But no, not in adulthood. And so you've got to like readjust to new life feelings, to new life circumstances, and not feeling awful. And shaking these blankets is just like that. You've got to change your state of mind. You've got to change your state of being. You've got to move from one thing to another and transition, and that's difficult. It's much easier to stay wrapped up, isn't it? To just sit there feeling bad, like Eeyore, saying thanks for noticing. Well, I notice, but what are we going to do? Because I've been there. Right? I've been there, and sometimes, yeah, you want acknowledgement, you want noticing, but don't you want to get out of the blanket? Don't you want to get out of the blanket? I mean, really? we have this rational brain and our irrational brain, and our irrational brain is what's keeping us in the damn thing, and rationally we know I've got to get out the blanket. I don't need to just be wrapped up in sadness and despair and all of that sort of thing. It's so easily done. I can be pushed into it by so many things. Look, I've got this double trouble thing going on of the emotional instability of BPD mixed with the emotional instability of ADHD. At least I'm not bipolar, I guess. But both of these situations, I can be thrown into despair and sadness in the blink of an eye. It just takes hearing the wrong song on an advert. It doesn't take much at all. It never has. But, you know, that's never improved. That was kind of what made me feel there was still something wrong after therapy with the BPD. It's like, well, I'm a bit too emotionally unstable. But anyway, I digress. So I have a little tactic that I use. You see, for me, and this is just what I do. Your mileage may vary. I always say that. I should get that on a t-shirt. Your mileage may vary. It's not exactly a unique catchphrase, is it? I have a button on my phone. Oh, I don't know how well you can see that the little white cross there. We're all blurry here, but there's a little white cross there, and it's a button labeled emergency, and it's an iOS shortcut that I put together. And when I press it, my phone plays the song Tequila by the Champs. Because it's one of those things where it kind of, I find music can break through the blanket feeling. Like there are certain bits of music, and I'm not saying like it's my favorite song or anything. Oh, Rich loves Tequila by the Champs. Yeah, it's fine, right? I'm not a big Tequila guy. That's not my point, right? My point is, it's one of those songs, one of those pieces of music where you can't be really sad or despairing while it's playing. You can't do that. You can't cry to Tequila. You can cry with Tequila, but you can't cry to the song. You can't be, because as soon as it starts, it sort of takes over a little bit. You start off sad and you're ignoring it. You're just trying to ignore the song. But this beat keeps going and it keeps going, and the saxophone keeps playing, and you're just waiting for the moment where you're going to say Tequila. There's your thing. And so that, in its own stupidity and ridiculousness, and I'm aware that it is, and that's the point for me, is enough to sort of shake me a little bit. It's enough to just, oh, hang on, I'm in a blanket of despair. Get out the blanket, this is silly, right? To have that little, just a little emotional nudge in the right direction. And as I say, I'm not suggesting you put an emergency button on your phone that plays Tequila. That's not what I'm saying. But it's good to have happy go-to things, right? Maybe it's a bit of music. Maybe it's a YouTube clip that makes you absolutely piss yourself laughing every time you watch it. That's a good one. Maybe it's a movie. And I'm not talking about comfort stuff. I'm talking about stuff that you can't avoid being made happy by. There's stuff like that out there. That is one example. And I have a playlist of other things. I'm not going to read it out, actually. Never mind. I have a playlist of similar songs. That's just, you can't be sad. You're not allowed to be sad while James Brown is singing. That's against the law. And so it pulls you out of it. And that's just the music bit. This is just my own little suggestion, of course. Therapy helps. It's good if you're not actually in despair about something. I mean, that's the other thing, right? You know, we have to acknowledge that life can be bad sometimes, and things that make us feel sad and despair do come along. We just want to handle those emotions properly. But also, it's nice to have to only handle those emotions when something that is sad or despairing has happened, right? I mean, at least you normal people get that, right? You feel sad because something sad has happened. We feel sad because it's Tuesday afternoon and our brain has gone, hey, you need to feel sad now for some reason. I don't know. Right? I would take just normal being sad. It's part of life. We have ups and downs. We have happy moments and moments. But, you know, it would be nice for them to at least have a reason behind them. Just saying. Anyway. Do you have blanket emotions? Do you have emotions that you wrap yourself up in? I always mean to make videos about this with a blanket, and I never remember to do it. I have many blankets, but never mind. Anyway, I know a lot of you are switching off right now, so I'll speak to the loyal and faithful. Hello, people. Go over and follow me on Patreon, please. I really appreciate that. Is that begging? No, it's begging if you say please more than once in a really pathetic voice. Please, please. That's begging. I'm not doing that. That's pretending to beg. I was acting then. You thought I was begging. I'm a really good actor. So thank you for that. Go over and visit me on Patreon at patreon.com/earlymorningbarking and just support me. I'm not going to sell you what I'm posting there. I'm posting stuff there. You can see it. But I'm not going to be like, hey, if you go there, you'll get this amazing content. It's stuff, right? Feel free to interact with me on there as well. I'm trying. What my goal is I would like there to be some sort of bit more community on Patreon. I don't know how to create that. I'm just saying go there and be a community. I'm aware that's probably not the most productive way of doing this. I do get that, but I appreciate those of you who tolerate me and indeed endorse and encourage me. That is great. Follow me on the socials. There's links everywhere. You're clever people and you'll find it. I appreciate that as well. So I will see you again in other videos. Like and subscribe. Blah, 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 blah. See you later. Bye-bye.